How y'all doing? I can't really say anything that everybody else didn't already say. So I won't even do what I wrote. I'll just tell what I thought of my dad. To me, I'm the manifestation of all the unrealized potential of my dad. I look like him, I walk like him, I talk like him, I think like him. Every time we talked on the phone, he would remind me, you just like me, son. Everything that you have, it ain't on you, it's in you. So it don't matter who tell you can't do something, you won't do something, you don't have this, it doesn't matter, because they can't beat the integrity and the character that you have. You come from greatness. It was like, don't matter how much money you have, you still you. So I say that to say, authenticity is the highest frequency we can emit from the human body. My dad was one of the most authentic people I've ever met. And realistically, he was my superhero. I heard a quote and it said, you have to be the strongest person at your father's funeral, because everybody that's hurt for what they lost in him, they need to have somebody that they can lean on when they need it. He was the person that you leaned on in the family when you needed that strength. He was the backbone. He was the muscle. He was whatever you needed him to be at any moment. And that's what I try to be for my family and my friends. I try to make sure that I can be exactly what he gave me an example of. I never seen my dad be weak. I never seen him break down and give up and things like that. He did everything he wanted to do if he wanted to do it. So everybody that knows him knows he was strong-minded, strong-willed. He was a good athlete, good fighter, smart thinker, everything that you can name, you can go down the list, and he was that. It's easier to identify the things that he couldn't do rather than the things that he could do, because we'll be here for hours. I don't want to sit up here and take all y'all time up, because I know some of y'all probably hungry and we got food over at the park. But he loved everybody, and if he loved you, he had you. You ain't even have to ask. If you weren't around, he still had you. You never had to worry about him being a different person when you ran into him. He wasn't going to be fake with you today and then real with you tomorrow. He was him consistently. He was authentic. I say that to say as well that authenticity is stronger than gratitude and love. Authenticity is what will bring people across the country to come see you, even if they can't see you. It'll come and have people want to show up and tell their stories about you because you meant something in their life. You were a checkpoint, a statement, a piece of their life that they needed to express in front of the rest of the people that love you. So with that being said, I want to say thank you all for coming here and supporting me and my dad. It's not the best circumstances to get together, but at the same time, it brought people together that he loved and loved him. And if he's sitting right here watching us right now, he would be amazed to see the faces in here right now that show him love, even though he's not here with us. Another thing I would want to say is don't wait till times like this to give people their flowers and things like that. Because at funerals, people are quick to show up to give you your flowers, but when you're sick, they don't bring you soup. So it's like, don't wait till we get in these situations to start taking care of your family and your people. If you love them, show them today. It's not hard to say, I love you or I miss you. Even when you get upset with your family members, sometimes what you upset about don't even matter, because when it comes to a time like this, we'll wish we had that moment back to just be like, it don't even matter. I have no guilt. I haven't even cried about my dad yet, because for one, I gotta be strong for my wife and kids. I gotta be strong for my aunts, my uncles, everybody else who's trying to stand strong and things like that. They need somebody to be like, hey, I got you. It's all good. Don't cry over that. But I know my dad would want me to be that way for y'all. I know the people that he cared about, and I know people that he named to me directly in this room that took care of him and looked out for him when he was at his worst. My dad didn't do everything right, but the things he did the best. He was always the top at whatever he was doing, whether it was hustling, whether it was running track, playing baseball, basketball, everything. All I hear is stories of my dad. So one thing I used to hear about my dad is, I'll just tell y'all some stories. My dad always believed in me. He always thought I was everything. Like I couldn't, as Sanaya said, I couldn't do any wrong. So he would tell me like, he would be amazed if I told him, oh yeah, I can't do it, Dad. He showed up to my track meet one day. I'm one of the fastest on the team, but I'm a freshman. So in my mind, I'm not adequate enough yet. I'm like, everything seems bigger when you're younger. But from the stories that I hear about him, I'm like, he didn't look at himself as too small to compete. So he always stepped up to the plate, and that's what I always try to do. So one day I had a track meet out in Clifton, and I'm like, my mom worked during the day and all that type of stuff, so he just happened to be available, and he showed up out the blue. I wasn't expecting it, but I was getting ready to run in the heat. That was the fastest heat on the track, and they were all seniors, and I was the only freshman. So of course I'm kind of thinking like, this might not go too well for me. So I end up getting in the race, I qualify, beat the first heat and all that, but I'm already knowing I'm gonna beat all these guys, but the seniors are who I have to worry about. And I seen my dad, and he was on the fence, and I'm like, I didn't even expect him to be here. So he ended up pulling me to the side, like, what's going on? You ready, kid? Woo-woo? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. But I'm telling him, like, man, I don't know, Dad. I'm like, these the fastest in the area right now, and this it. Like, what that mean? He was like, you run like they do. He was like, what can they do that you can't do? You come from me. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I end up taking that in my mind, and I'm like, you know what? What can they do that I can't do? I'm gonna just do it. Not only did I win, but I also qualified for state. So I'm like, just him showing up and being there at a time that I didn't expect him to changed my whole thought process. It made me run faster, run harder, run with more confidence because he was there. I went to, if most of you know, if you're from here, I went to Bishop McNamara. I was one of the top athletes in this area as well. I might not have been as good as my dad, I don't know. Different eras, different times, different people say different things, but I wasn't half as good as him in basketball, and I know that. I don't even have a jump shot like that. Like I could hit something if I try, but I'm not the one you gonna go, hey, let's go play, hey, let's go bet this money and get this. I'm not that guy. So I always would be like, they'd be like, man, your dad was so raw in basketball, I know you good. I'm like, nah, I don't know. Yeah, man, I play football. I ain't gonna lie to you, like I'm a man in football. But when I was getting recruited in football, I got recruited by 32 different colleges. I made freshman year Who's Who Sports Edition. I was selected to play on the U.S. team in Australia as a freshman. I had all these different things going. I went to state in track. I had accolades. I'm Chicago Catholic League All Conference, Kankakee All Area. I'm doing all these things, and I'm like, yeah, I'm the man. And my dad, his first time showing me a little bit of disappointment, he like, how you can't play basketball? He was like, I used to ball around here. He was like, and your mama could play basketball and you can't shoot? You can't dribble? I'm like, man, did you see that article in the paper? I got 14 touchdowns this year. I'm like, that was on kickoff returns. I'm like, he like, man, how you can't shoot, man? I'm like, so I'm like, that's the only time that I could think of that my dad ever showed any type of, I wouldn't even say disappointment, but even if it was disappointment, I look at it as his utmost, he held me to a high standard. He let me know that even when you think you can't, you can. So all that thinking you can't do something, that ain't for me, that don't fly around here. We don't move like that. He's like, you know who you come from? So I'm like, I had to remember that. So when I move around and you see me moving around and you see me doing what I'm doing it because he gave me the confidence to do that. You know, I'm a public speaker now. He got to see me become an author. He got to see me become a father, a husband. Everything that my dad didn't get to experience in life, I got to experience on his behalf. And I'm gonna continue that. So whenever y'all see me doing anything, understand that I'm doing it for his legacy. So whatever it meant for him, it means to me. And whatever y'all loved about him, I hope that I can be that to y'all. And I hope that I can be an example that he was to me, to my daughters. I hope that they love me. I just hope my daughters love me. Well, I love my dad. Like I say he ain't do everything perfect, but he always was there for me. Like, if I needed advice, if I needed anything, some money, some anything, like, he gonna come through if he can. There's never a time where he just flat out left me on stuck on purpose. If he couldn't, he couldn't. And I understand that. See, most people look at their dad and be like, well, you ain't got enough money, or you ain't give me nothing, or you ain't buy me this, and all that. But with my dad, I didn't care what he got me. My mom got me everything growing up. I never needed anything. I wanted things, but I didn't need anything. But when it came to my dad, I didn't expect anything. I didn't need anything from him but for him to be him. That's all I cared about. So as long as he was who he was, I ain't need nothing, just your time, just the way he talked, just the way the ism he got, everything about him, the swag he got, everything about him. I was just like, that's enough for me. I'm satisfied with that. One time, I'm gonna tell the story, my mama laid my birthdays out, got me everything. I'm talking about, I don't even know what it was that she got. It was just stuff everywhere. I'm like, I'm so excited. Oh man, that's good, this and that. My dad got me one of them little mitts with the Velcro on it that you throw the ball on and catch. That was my favorite thing ever at that party because it came from him. It wasn't about how much it cost. It was none of that. It was because my dude did that for me. And I'm like, dang, this came from my dad. He ain't got to get me nothing, but he can give me anything. It's like, man, you did. I expect that from you, ma. I tell my mom all the time, well, I got you when I go pro, I got you. When I get on, I got you, ma. Don't worry about it. Let me get $20 real quick. So I'm like, you know, my mama worked hard as she could and give me everything she could, but my dad, it was just his presence, just him being him. So on this Father's Day weekend, to the fathers out there, if you had your father still, or if you are a father, like you really matter. You don't know how much you really matter to your kids and to the world, period. Because you give a confidence that money can't buy. Like my dad, in French they would say it's like a je ne sais quoi. He has something about him that you just can't explain. Everybody loves something about my dad. Like I say, I went to Mac. That's a predominantly white school. I'm one of the top players over there. Me and my cousin Dominique Green. We the guys over there. So everybody know us, but they don't know our family. We still on the other side of the tracks. They don't know us like that. So one day I come to school, the valedictorian of my class comes to me excited, like, DeVante, I met your dad. I'm like, you got me confused with somebody. Like, you don't know my daddy. My daddy in the streets. I don't think he don't own Yana keys or none of that. I don't know what you're talking about. He like, no, I met him. And she was like, I went to a house party yesterday out in Bradley, and she said, I came in and everybody's looking at the TV. The whole house is watching a TV of a highlight reel. And she said, and it was you. And she said, and I got excited telling them, that's my classmate. I know him. That's DeVante White. He goes to my school. And she said, the guy that was showing everybody started laughing like, that's my son. And she was like, what? That's my friend. And so she came to school excited because she met my dad. No matter where I went, somebody would come to me and tell me, like, your dad was just bragging about you. Your dad just said this. Your dad was showing me your music video. Your dad just told me about your book. I'm like, that's what's up, because that's how I rep my dad. I was the young dude going around the hood telling my partners to rep their dad. So when I do something, I'd be like, yeah, I'm Gordy's son. Everybody know, yeah, that's Gordy's son. This isn't that. I score a touchdown, my teammates will run to me like, Gordy's son, this isn't that. Woo. I'm like, yeah. So I'm standing on it for my dad, and I'm like, that's what I try to instill in my friends. So I would encourage them to, man, show your daddy some love. Oh man, I ain't messing with, man, look, show your daddy some love. Because you don't understand what your daddy went through. You don't know why your dad don't do this or don't have this or it don't matter. Because if he want to be in your life and he trying to give you something that he didn't have, take that. Because you don't know what it's like not to have that. It's somebody that wish they had your problem, wish they had their dad trying to reach out to him, get in touch with him, be there for him and all that. And you got it, but you shun him because he don't have enough money. You shun him because he don't live the life that you want him to live. You shun them because you upset about something that can easily be talked about. So it's like, don't hold on to grudges and all that type of stuff, because times like this, it really matter. I don't have any guilt in my heart right now because me and my dad were good. I took care of my dad whenever he needed. So whenever my dad called me If I could do it, it's right now. I ain't telling them wait a week. I'll call you back. It's right now. Because I know times are the essence and you can't get it back. So it's like, I'm not sad because my dad is gone, because I actually feel better that he's not in pain. I know the pain my dad was in. Everybody in here know him as the man, know him as the person that was confident and willing to do whatever for anybody and all that type of stuff like that. But he also was a person that would talk to me on the phone candidly. I know the times he was hurt and upset. I know the times he was depressed. I know the times his body was in pain, his feet hurt, his back hurt, his diabetes, whatever it is. I know all those times. And it's hard hearing that when I'm out of town trying to build my family and my life, and I know my dad back home hurting. And I don't have the ability to pull him up out of that, because it was just too much going on. But at the same time, what I could do for my dad, I did it. So that's why I have no regrets. I have no hurt feelings about, oh, I wish I would have just did this. I wish I would have called him more. I was in tune. Everything my dad did, needed, whatever it was, we were in tune. We were locked in. So I'm like, I have no regrets about any of that, and neither should you. But don't live with regrets. If you got a family member that you love and you care about, go tell them you care about them. So what, y'all got upset with each other about something petty, especially if it's about something material, because that stuff can be replaced. But a person like my dad can never be replaced. I don't even know anybody else like him across the board. Like, everybody love you. When I went to Minnesota with my cousin Ty right here, he take me to the bar, the whole bar. He like, you know who son this is? They looking at me like, no, I don't know. He tell them, they all light up, what? That's Gordy's son. Your dad was this, and that. They just get to going in about how my dad was. He ain't been up there in years. But he still left a mark and a memory in all of their minds, even out of state. Everywhere I go, no matter who knows. I met a guy in Chicago one time. He said, man, where you from? I was like, I'm from the Keys. He was like, yeah. He was like, man, you look familiar. He was like, who your people down there? I'm like, the whites. He's like, man, he's like, man, you look like Gordy or something. You like this dude named Gordy. I'm like, that's my dad. He was like, man, I knew that, man. He was like, Gordy is a real one. He was like, he moved like a West Side dude. He was like, man, he gonna get some money. He gonna move around, this, that. He's like, your daddy is one of the realest dudes I know. He was like, when I came to Kankakee and I met your dad, he was like, I've been locked in with him since. He ain't no shady dude. He was like, he cool, chill. He was like, and him being the first person I met down there and seeing you up here in a whole nother city is just like confirmation of how the universe works. He was like, man, I can't believe I ran into his son and didn't even know you was his son. You just look like him. And I'm like, that's also a testament to, I am my daddy. I'm everything about my daddy. I'm whatever unrealized potential my dad had. So when y'all see me out and y'all see me progressing and all that, this is my daddy name. Everything that I do is my daddy name. So I want to tell y'all I love each and every one of y'all in here because y'all showed up for him. Even the ones that couldn't make it, I know they would have wanted to be here. Timing don't work like that. But all y'all chose to show up on this weekend, on this Father's Day weekend at that. He would have really appreciated that, and he appreciated the kind words, the stories y'all told, everything. I needed those stories because it feel good to know that I come from somebody great like that. Somebody that even outside of their presence, they spoken highly of. And I hope I can be, I hope I can leave that impression on people too, to speak highly of me when I'm not around. Because I try my best to be good. None of us are perfect. But at the same time, we all make mistakes. But the ones who love me for being me, I appreciate that because I'm trying to be better. And I know my dad was trying to be better. It's just when you get so far behind in life, it's hard to catch up. So it's like he had dreams and aspirations and things that he wanted to do, but he couldn't make it happen just because his past catching up with him and things like that. And I almost went down that same slope. I had the same troubles. I was a student athlete, but I also grew up in the hood and I'm in the streets too. So it's like, what do? Get caught up in your environment or choose to be like, all right, you know what? I got to stay in the crib. I got to get my mind right. I got to change the way I act, the way I move. Because if I don't, I'm going to end up just like my dad. And he did everything in the streets to deter me from being like him. He would make sure that if I wanted to sell some drugs or something, he would make sure the hypes knew, don't buy nothing from him. So that discouraged me. I'm like, that ain't my field. He like, man, don't do nothing. He going, hey, let him go to school. So they'd be like, yeah, your daddy don't want you out here. And I was like, my daddy told you that? What would make him tell you that out of all people to tell me? And I'm like, but that's what it meant to him for me not to be that way like him. He wanted me to be the culmination of the better version of him. And I'm like, and I appreciate him for that. I didn't see it in the moment, because it's like when you're around your friends and everybody doing their own thing, you think that's what you're supposed to do. You think that's the way to get it, that's the way to move, that's the way to handle it, but it ain't. And I'm like, him just blocking me in the streets and things like that allowed me to be like, man, I need to rethink it, because I respect my daddy. I love my daddy. So if he telling me he don't want me to do something and he want me to do something over here, man, let me try this over here, because he must know something. And he ain't never steered me wrong. He ain't never told me nothing that wasn't right. So I'm like, give him the opportunity to teach me something that he wasn't able to be himself. And I'm like, now I can be in front of you all confident enough to talk about him without being like, I used to not be able to speak in public like this, you know. Like I could speak, but I didn't want to. I was nervous and all that, but I ain't nervous in it. Because it's like, you know, I see all these familiar faces, y'all my family, friends, everything like that. But it's like just being able to have the confidence to try anything. Like I'm really irrational when it comes. My wife and my mom will tell you, I think I can do anything. I don't know nothing I can't do. If you give me the opportunity, I can do it. I got a CDL, real estate license. I speak, I coach, I wrote a book. Whatever you can do, I'm gonna try to do it if I can do it. I'm trying to get my pilot's license, but my wife don't want me to fly because she's talking about the planes keep going down. I'm like, cars crash, we still drive. I'm like, let me get my licenses up. I'm like, so you know, but just go for what you want and love your people while they're here right now. Don't wait till we gotta get together and cry about it and all that. Because if we take care of them while they're here, we won't even feel guilty when they're gone. And when they're gone, they're not hurting no more. They're not in pain anymore. My dad not in the hospital on life support and ventilators and all this no more. All that. And I'm like, be happy that he's not hurt. You wouldn't want to see a person that you love in constant pain and constant misery and depressed and feeling like you know you had all this potential, but it wasn't able to be realized because you just in too much pain and all that. And now you looking at yourself getting older and older and having less and less. It's like, that's not a life to live. That's not a way that he want to be remembered. That's not something that he'd rather hear the stories that y'all talking about now and leave it at that. Let me get out the game while I'm still ahead. So now he done passed the torch to me. I'm his legacy. So y'all gonna see me take it, use it, and do what I'm supposed to do with it. And hopefully I can pass that torch on to my kids later on and have them be able to say, man, the world thought highly of my dad. And I love my dad. And I respect my dad and appreciate my dad the way that I appreciate and respect mine. He was my superhero, you know? No matter what the world thought of him. No matter what the world thought of him, he was my superhero. So, you know, on this day, let's appreciate who we got to know, who got to leave a mark in our lives. Because it's not another one like him. It's not another person like you. Somebody needs you right now. Y'all crying over him and sad about him, but somebody feel that way about you. Somebody care about you right now. So don't take it for granted, and don't take your people for granted, because the same way you heard about him is somebody else in your life that means the same thing or more to you. So cherish that person. Tell them you love them. Tell them you care about them. Petty stuff don't matter. People you can't get back after they're gone. So with that being said, I want to say thank y'all, man. That's all I got to say.